So check out this headline. This was right before the start of trading this morning. Futures rise after U.S. strikes Iran again. I think it speaks to the desire not only for a conclusion to the Iran conflict, but for also a decisive U.S. victory. Now, my next guest is one of the best when it comes to the intersection of markets and geopolitical events. Joining me now, Rod Martin, founder and CEO of Martin Capital. So Rod, President Trump began this morning saying we're going to hit Iran again very hard. And the market was okay with that. And then moments before the show, President Trump says, okay, we've canceled those strikes. New developments have happened, and the market moved even higher. What's your thought? What's happening here?
Well, I think you're exactly right. The market wants to see, as we all do, a conclusive, thumping U.S. victory. And I think they're going to get it. You know, if Donald Trump wanted to do a bad deal, we'd have had it already. It would have happened a month ago or more. There's no reason for him to continue this if what he isn't doing is negotiating the terms of surrender. Now, will they surrender? Don't know. We'll see. If they don't, I think it was very clear from Secretary Hegseth's comments yesterday that we know exactly what we're going after, and we can put pressure on the regime that goes far beyond what we've done so far. But the truth is, bottling up their oil exports is costing them between $400 and $500 million a day. They can't sustain that in the long run. Yeah. This is a game of chicken. They're trying to play our midterms. I don't think Trump is that concerned.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 1,000%. And it does look like the street now is celebrating, though. When we get aggressive with them, the street likes it as well. I want to switch gears a little bit because China's been playing hardball with Japan. Of course, we know the new prime minister in Japan looking to beef up their military, maybe become more defensive rather than offensive. A couple of Japanese firms recently just gone out of business because it's indium phosphate, which is a really key critical ingredient for the optical equipment trade, which bottom line, without it, you can't have these data centers. And when I think about this, it just suggests to me we should be more aggressive. Shouldn't we be more aggressive with the federal government's role in trying to get these resources so that we never have to worry about that happening with us?
Absolutely. And, the president's been very focused on this from Ukraine to Australia to Thailand. We're very serious about, and actually even here at home with new refining capacity coming online in Fort Worth and with mining in Wyoming and California. So we're very serious about rare earths. We're not as serious as we need to be, perhaps, in some respects, just in terms of timing. 92% of the world's rare earths get refined in China. And it's totally needless. It's something that we can do. And in fact, the United States has so much of the stuff that we could actually support 85% of the total global demand.
Yeah.
We just don't have the processing. So yes, we've got to get all over this. The Japanese are getting a little different deal, though, than I think we're likely to. And you see that with China's new LNG purchases from us and their refusal to allow Putin to build a pipeline from Siberia. They clearly have decided they need the U.S. consumer market in exactly the way you and I have been talking about for a very long time. And they don't want to antagonize Trump that much. But Japan, they're happy to antagonize all day long.
And the irony, of course, is that China's exports have been through the roof. People say, well, what about the tariffs? It's those AI components that they could hold back, but they want to make money. Hey, I got to talk about your piece. I love this thing. You say SpaceX IPO. It's not overpriced. We're underpricing the future. We got a minute and a half. I want you to explain what you mean by that because you're the first person to speak about it this way.
Look, this is like investing in the East India Company at the beginning. We're not talking just about rockets. We're certainly not talking about launching satellites for a fee. We're talking about building the infrastructure of an entirely new economy, expanded vastly beyond our atmosphere and dramatically impacting everything here on Earth. So, if you're talking about building hundreds and thousands of starships per year, you're talking about the ability to transform intercontinental transport, cheap tickets to London in 23 minutes. You're talking about the ability to move armies around the world, but you're also talking about the ability to actually be able to affordably mine and manufacture in space,
right,
and truly settle across the inner solar system. That's happening. That's what this company is. And I'd look for a merger with Tesla too, because it'll simplify the cap table and create a lot of efficiencies that'll make this even more valuable.
Yeah, this reminds me of McKinley and the frontier mentality of America that's ingrained in why America became great. I just think it's a further extension of that. And to your point, the opportunities for decades from now will be phenomenal. Rod, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you soon. All right, folks, coming up.